you're going down, deep down where the love is. The love is, the love is. 28th of December, I've got 22 weeks to go before I go to the Desert Ultra. Not the Desert Ultra, the Jungle Ultra in the Amazon. And I've got a long run this morning, 4 hours. And for the first time, I'm going to do a little vlog and record it. I'm whispering because it's 5:30 in the morning. The kids, wife are still in bed. So hopefully you can hear this. But for every long run that I do, I'm going to record a little video whilst I'm out there. It's a bit of an intro. I'm Dave, I'm 43 years old. I am a former executive turned now performance coach. And I help leaders, executives, business owners and career mentorship. And I just do stuff that I love doing now. Like running. I've been running for a long time. Over the years I've just been doing more and more longer running. And next year I'm doing the Jungle Ultra. My training peak says it's 22 weeks to go. I've enlisted a coach who's helping me with my programming for the race. A guy called John Shields. I'm going to upload this video onto my YouTube channel. John Shields is a running coach, but also he won this race a few years ago, which I'm doing. And if you want to know more about John, I interviewed him on my podcast. So watch out for that interview going live on my YouTube in the new year as well. John's programmed me a long run now, once a week. So today is 4 hours. I'm just going to take it really slowly at my own pace. I'm going to go up from here all the way up to a place called Holcombe Hill in Bury. So it's going to be a mixture of it's a long drag to start with, then a real uphill off-road, almost like a trail run. It'll be really steep at some point, over the moors, and then back down. Not sure how long it's going to be. Don't think it'll be nearly 40k. Testing out some new kit today as well, which I got for Christmas. The running bag with some hydration in it, and some kit and a new running jacket as well, which will be cool. Yeah, as I'm running, things come into my head. So I'm just going to start talking to camera, see what happens, and see if it's interesting. If anything, it gives me something to do whilst I'm out on my own running for 4 hours. Breakfast is oats with some protein and some yogurt and a banana and a coffee. So I'm going to eat this, hopefully flush it through the system, and yeah, I'll get out and I'll see you in about an hour or so. Alright, bye for now. Not sure how much of that intro actually recorded because I was having to whisper just to keep the noise down with the kids and Amanda being in bed. The gimbal, I think, is going all over the show. It's the first time I've run with this camera, so this is also a bit of a test. So I've got a stitch already, but I've only just set off, and a reintroduction to what I'm doing. So I'm 22 weeks away from running 230k in the Amazon. Once a week now, I've got a long run scheduled in my plan. I think I'm running 5 times a week, mixture of intervals, shorter runs, recovery. But this long run is 4 hours today. And just to keep me company, I'm going to do some video and a bit of content. See how we get on. I was aching. The plan today is to run from my house up to a place called Holcombe Hill in Bury. It's quite dark still. It's about 5:30 when I set off. More like 6:15. Just realised that it's going to be fucking pitch black up the hill. If I enjoy this today, if I enjoy filming it and putting it out there, I might just do a vlog or a bit of a video every long run that I do, just to help keep me occupied. That's really annoyed me. Basically stopped to take the camera out and forgot to restart my watch. So that's the first fuck up of the day, which is cool. Right, so I'll see you guys in about an hour. So that's me 1 hour in so far. So far so good as well. The only thing really is a bit of a stitch. Not used to, well, normally if I run about anything up to 2 hours in the morning, I'll do it fasted. But because this is a longer, it's 4 hours, obviously I forced my breakfast down before I came out, which is giving me a little bit of a stitch, but that's all good. About 10k, just over 10k in, and I'm just looking at where I'm heading now. Let me see if I can show you. You're probably not going to be able to see this. No, Can't see that. There's a massive hill in the distance which is going to be pitch black. There's one section that I've just done which is dark and I needed the head torch, but other than that it's pretty well lit and very enjoyable. So yeah, what I've been thinking about, I actually love these runs, these long runs, zone 2s, just to see what pops up, clear the mind, work through some thoughts as well. Been thinking about Caroline Flack for the majority of that first bit. Watched the documentary last night with Amanda, which was kind of covering the story of her tragic death from a point of view of hindsight, really, and with the mum kind of covering the majority of the narrative. It's absolutely tragic, really tragic. It's just a reminder, really, of how we can be highly influenced by narratives, stories, and the media, and how it can get into our heads as the public. But equally, think about what happened to her as an individual. Horrible. So yeah, I've been thinking about that, which also sparked a thought, similar topic, which I listened to something about this recently, apparently with I think it was in World War One, when they recruited a load of soldiers to the army from the US. When they first went out there, the soldiers basically soft asses and wouldn't fight, wouldn't shoot. They just didn't have the belief system installed around how it was to operate effectively as a soldier. And what they did, what the government did to try and fix this, was really odd. They basically started to create a load of content and films. Morning. Create a load of content and films and projected out through their media at the time, which is the television, a load of war films to basically make soldiers look like heroes and make them look like macho guys that were going out saving the world. And lo and behold, the next time they recruited a load of soldiers for the army, they started blowing the shit out of people, because their belief systems had basically been moulded by the government and the media, which was a weird thing to be thinking about in the first hour of the run, all thanks to the documentary that we watched last night with Caroline Flack. So the other thing that I'm going to do an hour in is I'm just going to have a salt tab. I did 3.5 hours last week and I was cramping towards the end because I didn't take any water with me, I didn't take any nutrition, which was a big mistake. So I'm going to have this now, a bit of water, and then set off again. Amanda got me this vest for Christmas, which is cool. And put some water in it. Got my camera in there, some nutrition for later, and my salt tabs. So that's it. What a morning. Right, I'll see you in about an hour. That was tough, that bit. So now, this is not runnable. Going up Holcombe Hill. Wow! This is stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's not going to do my average pace any good. However, this is great training for the jungle. I looked at the full stage breakdown, but I know it's hilly. I know there's a lot of ascent and descent, so this will be good training. It's time on the feet, but what I love about this place is it reminds me of my childhood, first and foremost, because I used to come up here quite a lot when I was a kid with my mum, dog Fergie, who nearly got shot by a farmer on the other side of the hill, which has nearly happened to my current dog, Roxy. But you can see all over Manchester from here. On a clear day, It used to be just Beetham Tower you could see in the distance, but skyline of Manchester has changed significantly over the past few years. You can probably not going to be able to see any of this, but I'll try. No, I don't think you can. Maybe I'll zoom in on the edit, but you can see a load of red lights in the distance where the tops of the skyscrapers are in central Manchester. You can also see over the hills to where I grew up in Totty near Bury, and you can see in direction where I live now. And I come up here with the kids as often as I possibly can. Although they're resisting it at the minute because kids don't like walking, do they? But this is ace. That Caroline Flack thing, been thinking, one of the things I was thinking about then, after I recorded that first video, is there was a moment where I wished my kids were showing a bit more ambition to do stuff that would make them famous for some reason. Like Connie, my little girl, floated the idea that she wanted to be a singer. She loves Olivia Rodrigo. Then I started to think, why am I wishing that upon the kids? They can be successful without any of that stuff. Fame doesn't equal success, does it? And I think it's a dangerous game to play with kids when fame becomes the ultimate goal. Because the way the mind works is you are basically outsourcing your ultimate goal to the world. It will dictate how famous you are, when to build you up, when to knock you down. And if your belief system is that fame equals self-worth or fame equals success, then surely that's a road to ruin. I'm not saying that's what happened with Caroline Flack, but it kind of rings true for me a little bit anyway. So what now? 2 hours 36 to go. When we get to the top here, I'm going to see Peel Tower, and then it'll flatten out a bit across the moors back round the other side of the hill, which will be cool. So all is good so far. I'm feeling good. I mean, this isn't a redlining run at all. It's all zone 2. This is just about time on the feet, managing the effort, which is the name of the game with endurance, and will be the name of the game in the jungle. Wow, that is absolutely stunning. There is Peel Tower at the top of Holcombe Hill, which is mega. Made me, what else have I been thinking about? What drives us to do all this? Running, suffering, running through the jungle, running through the desert. The hill that I've just went up then, there's an Ironman UK 2019, I did that. I had to ride up the hill, not this bit obviously, the road bit first. It's a beast of a hill to ride up. Running up the whole bit before I got to the bottom of Holcombe Hill, that was hard. It does make you think, why do we do this? But actually, I've come to the conclusion that this is actually a more natural thing for humans to do, as opposed to what we are conditioned to do with regards to modern society. We're not built to sit around all day. We're not built to sit in a cubicle all day in front of a screen, in front of a computer, answering emails all day, eating, drinking coffee all day. We're not built for that. And if we do that, then ultimately it leads us to depression, anxiety, feeling lost, feeling disconnected. There's a thing that psychologists call, which is evolutionary mismatch. I'm just going to stop my watch. Stop here a minute. There's a thing called evolutionary mismatch, which I absolutely love. And it talks about the fact that if you think of modern world as being the last 125 years, humans have been around for 300,000 years. Basically means that less than, I think it's something like 0.1% of humanity equals the last 125 years. The majority of our existence as humans, we were survival hunter-gatherer mode. We were out there doing stuff like this, running the lands, looking for food, thinking about community, thinking about our tribe, survival. That's what our physiology and that's what our neurology is actually built for, which is one of the reasons why I think we're drawn to do this stuff. In fact, I think it's probably the main reason why we're drawn to do it. Anyone who's feeling depressed or anxious or stuck in a fucking rut, I challenge you to get out, move your body, run over the moors, get a sweat on, test yourself, do something that's a little bit scary, see how you feel after that. I can guarantee that'll do you the world of good versus some of the shite that gets pushed onto us by Big Pharma and the GPs and all these other pills and remedies that get pushed upon us. It's a load of bollocks in my opinion. This is the real remedy. Look at this. It is stunning. There she is, Peel Tower. It's amazing. Right, better get moving again. I'm gonna have a little bit of water. I'll have another salt tab. And this bit is now, the sun's coming up, so it's going to be stunning, this bit. I'm going to track myself down the other side of the hill, then back round, back on the road. I'll see you from there. But this is just amazing. It's absolutely stunning. Right, try and do a little bit of this while I'm running, just to save some time. That was the best section of the run so far. Down there, the moors down the hill. A bit rocky underfoot. Got my North Face trail shoes on, no problem for them at all. I was thinking about coaching on that bit. I'm a coach, obviously. And one of the great things about coaching is you feel or felt presence of a coach when they're not there. Which is a great thing about coaching, which is why coaches shouldn't ever exchange time for money. It's not about an hourly rate, because a good coach should have a felt presence when they're not there. And I feel that with my coach as well. And specifically when I'm out running, doing a long session, thinking about running coach, the Chuffety badge that you get on Training Peaks, the green on the board or the Strava upload, these things have an impact. And thinking about John, my running coach on that bit, he's an absolute machine. Met him the first time in Namibia last year on the Desert Ultra, and I remember dialing into a call probably about 6 weeks before we flew out to Namibia, and the race director was on the call, a guy called Adam Kimball, another unbelievable athlete who finished, I think he finished 4th at Badwater last year or this year. Crazy athlete. Anyway, Adam asked if we had any questions. One of my questions was, what's the biggest mistake that you see runners making, or first time runners making, that we can avoid? And he said the biggest mistake that you make is going out too quickly. Pretty basic, it's pretty obvious really. Happens all the time. It doesn't have to be a desert ultra. It happens at 5Ks, 10Ks. When you're on that start line, you get excited, you pull the trigger. The point of this is, I remember him saying that, fast forward to the first stage of the desert ultra, I think it was like 55k. I was on the start line, and I remember seeing John just absolutely fucking fly off from the gun. Literally sprint off from the start. It took me back to the advice that Adam had given us, and it just made me think this guy has made a different gravy. And he won that stage by country mile. I think he won every stage of the Desert Ultra. His course record actually got beat this year by, I think, one of his clients. So I'm in safe hands with John, my coach. Shout out to John if you watch this. I don't think he's going to be coaching me to a win in the jungle, but hopefully he'll be coaching me to the finish line. That's all I'm there for. Get me around that course in one piece. The beauty of it is that, or the brutal nature of it, is the final stage on these races that Beyond the Ultimate do is the long stage. So in the desert it was 92k. I ended up doing more like 94, I think. Got lost, which is another story. But the point is, there's a cut-off. If you don't make the cut-off, they pull you out and you get a DNF. And I don't know what's going on with this gimbal, but hopefully you can see me. And the point is, that puts some pressure on. In the last stage, in the jungle, I think it's like 70 off, so it's less in distance in the desert, but the terrain is a lot different, a lot more climbing. My goal is to finish a race and to finish the long course. Make sure I get past the cut-off time on that last day and get the medal. So that's it. So big up to all you coaches out there who build and leverage. Your felt presence with clients is a major part of it. So in a bit. Down, deep down where the love is, the love is, the love is.
yeah, so the other bit of content that landed with me this Christmas, other than that Caroline Flax thing, was the John Lewis advert. I mean, that really hit me, pulled on the emotion. I had a tear in my eye. I must have been living under a rock because I didn't see it till Christmas Eve. But wow. And I think maybe some primal wounds from my childhood potentially showing up there. But also my son Ralph is growing up. I need to accept that. Although he's only 11, he's growing up quick. Seems to have hit puberty pretty early, really. Don't think I was that young when I hit puberty. Morning. However, the reality is there that he's growing up, and I think that just hit me square right between the eyes. If you've not seen it, have a look at it, and thank you to John Lewis for that one, because I think it speaks to a lot of guys who maybe sort of my age, mid 40s, quite often don't feel seen with stuff like that. We're overrepresented in society, and we get on with stuff, and we tend to anyway. But that stuff is real, that connection that we struggle with sometimes with other humans, each other, and even our loved ones, like our sons and our daughters. And I think John Lewis just nailed it. And not only that, he dropped in an absolute banger. Get me down, deep down where love is. I'm actually running past my mum's old house at the minute as well, so full of nostalgia. An hour and a half still to go. Done about 24k. Got a bit of a stitch. Put that down to my choice of nutrition. Kellogg's bar, thanks to Amanda, my wife, who works for Kellogg's. Yeah, that's not a branded placement or anything. Alright, I'll see you in a bit. I am now jeffing home. For the runners out there, you'll know that jeffing is walk, run. Just round the corner really from my house. Well, I'll say around the corner, probably 2 and a bit K. Started to really cramp up now, which I was hoping wouldn't happen, to be honest with you, with salt tabs this week, but it's happened, which is fine. Maybe I'm just not in the condition I thought I was in, so I just have to accept it. I've done 3.5 hours, so I reckon by the time I get home it's going to be under 4 hours, but plenty of time on the feet. And I think, to be honest with you, given the elevation today, it was programmed as a trail run. It was definitely more than a trail run up Holcombe Hill and down the other side. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to take it as a win. Might not be a green on Training Peaks. Sorry, John. Might be an amber. But we go again. And as always with these runs, we learn something new every time. And I think for me today, just a reminder that I've been out of practice with nutrition. Be disciplined with nutrition. At least some carb intakes every hour, which I didn't do today. But breakfast saw me through the first 2.5 hours. I know I was taking salt tabs in. I didn't really take any nutrition until about 2.5 hours in when I had that rice cake, whatever it was. So you live and you learn. Still 22 weeks to go. I'm gonna do a video for YouTube every week on my long runs. It just keeps me occupied, gives me something to think about, and it gets me out there as well. As a coach, content creation comes with the territory, apparently. So yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next one.